Chapter 1: The Mysterious Invitation. Sophie Bennett had always considered herself an ordinary high school student. She kept her grades up, participated in a few clubs, and hung out with her friends on weekends. But one day, everything changed when she received a mysterious invitation in her locker. The envelope was thick and made of parchment, sealed with an ornate wax seal bearing a symbol she didn't recognize. With trembling hands, Sophie opened it and read the contents. "Dear Sophie Bennett, you have been selected to join a prestigious and ancient society known as the Order of Lumina. This society is dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, and the protection of secrets that have shaped our world. If you wish to accept this invitation, please meet us at the old library at midnight. The journey you are about to embark on will be challenging, but the rewards will be beyond your imagination. Yours sincerely, the Order of Lumina." Sophie's mind raced with questions. Who were these people? How did they know her? And what kind of secrets did they protect? Despite her apprehensions, her curiosity got the better of her. That night, she sneaked out of her house and made her way to the old library. Chapter 2: The Initiation. The old library stood at the edge of town, an imposing structure that had long been abandoned. As Sophie approached, she saw a faint light flickering through the windows. She pushed open the heavy wooden doors and stepped inside, her footsteps echoing in the silence. The main hall was dimly lit by candlelight, and at the center stood a group of people in hooded robes. One of them stepped forward and pulled back their hood, revealing a young woman with piercing green eyes and a kind smile. "Welcome, Sophie," the woman said. "I am Alara, the current leader of the Order of Lumina. We have been watching you for some time and believe you possess the qualities we seek in our members." Sophie felt a mix of excitement and fear. "What is this order, and why have you chosen me?" Alara gestured for Sophie to join the circle. The Order of Lumina has existed for centuries, dedicated to preserving knowledge and protecting the secrets that could change the course of history. We choose individuals who demonstrate intelligence, curiosity, and integrity. You have shown these qualities, Sophie, and we believe you are ready to join us. Sophie took a deep breath and nodded. "I accept." Alara smiled and handed Sophie a robe and a pendant bearing the symbol of the order. "Your initiation begins now. You will undergo a series of tests to prove your worthiness and learn the secrets we guard. Are you ready?" Sophie nodded again, her resolve strengthening. "I'm ready." Chapter 3: The First Test. Alara led Sophie through a hidden passage behind a bookshelf, revealing a series of underground chambers. The air was cool and damp, and the walls were lined with ancient books and artifacts. They stopped in front of a large door adorned with intricate carvings. "This is your first test," Alara explained. "Behind this door lies a riddle. You must solve it to proceed." Sophie took a deep breath and pushed open the door. Inside, she found a room filled with mirrors, each reflecting a different image. In the center of the room was a pedestal with a scroll. She unrolled the scroll and read the riddle aloud. "In a room full of mirrors, I stand alone. My face is hidden, my identity unknown. Find the truth, and you will see the path to wisdom and the key to me." Sophie looked around, her mind racing. The mirrors seemed to distort reality, showing different versions of herself. She approached one mirror and noticed that her reflection was slightly off. It didn't match her movements exactly. She studied the mirrors carefully, trying to find the clue. Finally, she realized that one mirror showed her true reflection, while the others were illusions. She stood in front of the true mirror and touched it. The mirror shimmered and dissolved, revealing a hidden passage. Sophie stepped through the passage and found herself in another chamber, where Alara was waiting. "Well done, Sophie. You have passed the first test. The ability to discern truth from illusion is crucial for a member of the Order." Sophie felt a sense of accomplishment. "What's next?" Alara smiled. "The second test awaits. Follow me." Chapter 4: The Trial of Knowledge. Alara led Sophie to a vast library filled with towering shelves of books. In the center of the room was a large table covered with scrolls, maps, and ancient manuscripts. "Your next test is the Trial of Knowledge," Alara explained. "You must find the answer to a question that has puzzled scholars for centuries. The answer lies somewhere in this library." Sophie felt a surge of excitement. She loved books and had always been a quick learner. She began her search, poring over the texts and cross-referencing information. Hours passed, and Sophie lost track of time as she delved deeper into the mysteries of the past. Finally, she found a manuscript that contained the answer she was looking for. She carefully copied the information and presented it to Alara. "I found the answer," she said, her voice filled with confidence. Alara examined the manuscript and nodded in approval. "Excellent work, Sophie. You have shown diligence, curiosity, and a thirst for knowledge. You have passed the second test." Sophie felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. "What's the next test?" Alara's expression grew serious. "The final test is the most challenging. It is the trial of courage. You must face your deepest fears and overcome them. Only then will you be truly worthy of joining the Order of Lumina." Chapter 5: The Trial of Courage. Alara led Sophie to a dark, foreboding chamber at the end of a long corridor. The walls were covered in strange symbols, and the air was thick with an oppressive energy. "This is the trial of courage," Alara said. "You must confront your fears and overcome them. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to face it." Sophie nodded, her heart pounding. She stepped into the chamber, and the door closed behind her, plunging her into darkness. She felt a wave of fear wash over her, but she took a deep breath and steadied herself. Suddenly, the chamber was filled with visions of her deepest fears. She saw herself failing her exams, disappointing her parents, and losing her friends. The visions felt so real that Sophie struggled to remind herself that they were illusions. She focused on her breathing and tried to calm her racing heart. "These are just fears," she whispered to herself. "They can't hurt me." As she faced each vision, she felt a sense of resolve building within her. She confronted her fear of failure, her fear of disappointing others, and her fear of loneliness. With each confrontation, the visions grew weaker until they finally disappeared. The chamber filled with light, and Sophie found herself standing in front of a doorway. She stepped through it and found Alara waiting for her. "You have faced your fears and overcome them," Alara said, her voice filled with pride. "You have passed the trial of courage." Sophie felt a sense of relief and accomplishment. "Does this mean I'm a member of the Order now?" Alara nodded. "Yes, Sophie. You have proven yourself worthy. Welcome to the Order of Lumina." Chapter 6: The Secrets Revealed. With her initiation complete, Sophie was officially a member of the Order of Lumina. She was given a pendant with the Order's symbol and access to the hidden chambers and ancient texts. She spent the following weeks learning about the Order's history and the secrets they protected. One evening, as she was studying an ancient manuscript, Alara approached her. "There is something you must see," she said. "Follow me." Alara led Sophie to a hidden chamber deep within the underground complex. The chamber was filled with artifacts and scrolls, and at the center stood a large, ornate chest. Alara opened the chest and revealed a collection of glowing crystals. "These crystals contain the accumulated wisdom and knowledge of the Order," Alara explained. "They have been passed down through generations, and now it is your turn to safeguard them." Sophie felt a sense of awe as she gazed at the crystals. "What do I need to do?" "Your task is to continue our work, to seek out new knowledge, and to protect the secrets that could change the world," Alara said. "You must also train the next generation of members, ensuring that the Order of Lumina endures." Sophie nodded, feeling the weight of her responsibility. "I understand. I will do my best." Chapter 7: A New Mission. Sophie quickly became an integral part of the Order of Lumina. She devoted herself to her studies, learning about the ancient secrets and the powerful artifacts the Order protected. She also began to mentor new members, sharing her knowledge and guiding them through their own initiation trials. One day, Alara called Sophie to a meeting. "We have received word of a powerful artifact that has been discovered in a distant land," she said. "This artifact has the potential to change the course of history. We must ensure that it does not fall into the wrong hands." Sophie felt a surge of excitement. "What do we need to do?" Alara handed her a map and a set of instructions. "You will lead a team to retrieve the artifact and bring it back to the Order. This mission will be dangerous, but I have faith in your abilities." Sophie nodded, determined to succeed. "I'll gather the team and prepare for the journey." Chapter 8: The Journey. Sophie assembled a team of skilled and trusted members of the Order. Together, they set out on their journey, following the map that Alara had given them. The path was long and treacherous, taking them through dense forests, across raging rivers, and over steep mountains. Along the way, they encountered numerous challenges, from wild animals to natural obstacles. But Sophie's leadership and the team's determination saw them through each trial. They relied on their training, using their knowledge and skills to overcome every obstacle. After several weeks of travel, they finally reached their destination, a hidden temple deep in the heart of a remote jungle. The temple was ancient and covered in vines, its entrance guarded by stone statues of mythical creatures. Sophie felt a sense of awe as they approached the temple. "This is it," she said. "The artifact is inside. We need to be careful." Chapter 9: The Temple of Secrets. The team entered the temple, their torches casting flickering shadows on the walls. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient stone. They navigated through a series of narrow passages, guided by the map and Sophie's intuition. As they ventured deeper into the temple, they encountered traps and puzzles designed to protect the artifact. Sophie's knowledge of ancient history and the Order's teachings proved invaluable as they deciphered the clues and avoided the traps. Finally, they reached the inner sanctum of the temple. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, upon which rested a glowing artifact, a crystal orb that pulsed with a mesmerizing light. Sophie approached the pedestal with a sense of reverence. She carefully lifted the orb and felt a surge of energy coursing through her. "We did it," she said, her voice filled with triumph. "We have the artifact." But as they turned to leave, they heard the sound of footsteps echoing through the chamber. A group of shadowy figures emerged from the darkness, their intentions clear. "You are too late," one of the figures sneered. "The artifact belongs to us." Chapter 10: The Final Battle. Sophie's team prepared for a confrontation. They had trained for this moment, and they were ready to defend the artifact. The chamber filled with the sounds of clashing weapons and shouts as the two groups engaged in battle. Sophie fought with determination and skill, using her knowledge of the Order's teachings and the power of the artifact to her advantage. Her team fought bravely by her side, each member contributing their unique abilities to the fight. Despite the odds, Sophie's team managed to overcome their adversaries. The shadowy figures retreated, leaving the temple in defeat. Sophie felt a sense of relief and accomplishment as she held the artifact securely in her hands. "Let's get this back to the Order," she said, her voice filled with resolve. Epilogue: The Legacy of the Order. Sophie and her team returned to the Order of Lumina with the artifact, their mission a success. They were greeted with cheers and congratulations from their fellow members. Alara beamed with pride as she welcomed them back. "You have done well, Sophie," Alara said. "You have proven yourself as a leader and a guardian of the Order's secrets. The artifact is safe, thanks to you and your team." Sophie felt a deep sense of fulfillment and gratitude. She knew that her journey was far from over, but she was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. She had found her place in the Order of Lumina, and she was determined to continue their work and protect the secrets that shaped their world. As she stood in the chamber filled with ancient artifacts and glowing crystals, Sophie felt a sense of connection to the generations of members who had come before her. She knew that she was part of something greater, a legacy of knowledge and wisdom that would endure for centuries to come. And so, the story of Sophie Bennett and the Order of Lumina became a legend, a testament to the power of curiosity, courage, and the pursuit of knowledge. The Order's secrets remained protected, and their legacy continued to inspire future generations of seekers and guardians.